Hi, hello po teachers. We are now live once again. Welcome po sa another let review session natin. This is episode 14 ng ating professional education series. I hope you were able to watch episodes 1 to 13 po, no? Posted po yan sa YouTube channel. Ayan. Okay, sige. So, pwede niyo pong i-mention ang mga kaibigan po ninyo sa comment section sa ating FB Live. And please share our Facebook Live as well. Once again, this is Professional Education, episode 14, part ng ating preparation for the upcoming licensure examination for professional teachers. And by the way, do not forget to leave your comment. Kindly show your love and support to our channel by leaving a comment po sa comment section. Okay, that way, I would be able to continue this as well since magiging malawak, no, yung reach natin. May engagement po tayo dyan sa ating comment section. So, that's your way, of showing your love and support to the channel as well. Alright, so isisingit ko lang din po ito. Pwede pa pong humabol, ha? Do not worry. Recorded po yung lahat ng sessions natin and posted po sa private group yung mga natapos na sessions. Pwede nyo pa pong panoorin, pwede nyo i-marathon yung mga sessions. And itong mga nasa YouTube channel natin, these are all free sessions as of now. Yung mga episodes, no? So, kung mapapansin nyo, konti lang yung mga tanong natin dito sa mga episodes. Pero, kahit konti ang tanong, grabe yung information, di ba? Ang daming information. Kahapon po I saw a comment sa comment section, may nagsabi na, Ma'am Reg, mas marami pa po akong natutunan dito sa channel mo kaysa sa RC ko. Grabe, no? Kung yung naging reflection ni Sir ba, na marami pa siya natutunan dito. So, gaya nga ng sinabi ko po na hindi po ibig sabihin na kaunti lang yung items natin dito sa mga episodes sa channel, no? Sa Prof. Ed and sa Gen Ed. Hindi po ibig sabihin doon na mag-limit lang na konti lang yung information, 'di ba? So, kung mapapansin nyo, sa mga tanong, sa mga rationalization, may mga dagdag tayo na information, 'di ba? So, ganyan po kasi dapat ang smart na pag-study. Kailangan hindi ka mag-focus lang sa score mo, no? Yung mga nafo-focus lang sa score, that's a fixed na mindset. Ano bang mas maganda, 'di ba? Dapat meron tayong growth mindset. So, mag-focus tayo sa ating learning instead of sa score. So, you ask yourself kung marami ka bang natutunan, no? Kaysa mag-focus ka sa score mo sa mga item number lamang, di ba? Sa mga tanong dito. So, mag-focus ka sa learning mo. That's the growth mindset. Okay, sige, marami-rami na kayo. Let us start po with question number 1. It refers to the process of evaluating a single test item by any of the several methods. It usually involves determining the difficulty and the discriminating power of the item, and often its correlation with some criterion. Ano tawag natin dito? Kalimihan, no, ginagawa to ng mga teachers, especially din sa college, no? Ayan, meron ng ganito. Is this inventory test, item analysis, factor analysis, or normal distribution? Same thing po, lagyan nyo po ng number and then the letter of your choice. Para alam po natin kung yung sagutin nyo, anong number yan. Baka may delay lang sa end ninyo. Baka yung letter na kinoment mo ay sagot mo pa sa previous na number, di ba? So, lagyan nyo po ng number and then the letter of your choice. Number 1, ano tawag natin dito? Single test item by any of the several methods. Ginagamit po yan to determine the difficulty, the discriminating power. That is what we call. Yan, may nagsagot ng A, may nagsagot ng B. This is what we call item analysis. Item, sabi dito no, single test item. Item analysis po. Yang item na yan, marami ba ang nakatama? Marami ba ang mali? O mas marami ba sa upper group ang nakatama? O mas marami ba sa lower group? Ang difficulty index niya, is it very difficult ba? Difficult, moderate, or average? Or ano siya, easy or very easy, di ba? So, that is item analysis. May discriminating power ba yan? Negative or positive, no? So, that is item analysis. Okay, number 2. Which type of assessment is best used to monitor student learning progress? A. Summative assessment. B. Diagnostic assessment. C. Placement assessment. Or D. Formative assessment. Ang galing. Number 2, this is formative. Oh, ma'am, 'di ba po parang parang itong diagnostic, itong placement, parang ano naman to sila, mga assessment for learning. Tama naman, no? Itong mga ito, assessment for learning, no? We have our PDF, PDF. Oh, yan yung mga assessment for learning. But take note, si diagnostic, focus siya before, no? Ibibigay mo siya yung exam na yan before the instruction, and its goal is to determine the gaps, to identify the strengths and weaknesses. Pag placement, you will identify, before pa rin siya, you will identify the level of that certain student, no, or group of students. Advanced na ba sila, or middle pa lang, or beginning level pa lamang sila, di ba? So, this is also good for sectioning itong placement. So, formative, this is the general term if we are talking about the things na minomonitor natin sa students natin, no? Yung progress nila, yung growth, yung immediate feedback na binibigay natin. So, that is formative. Yung mga quizzes, no? Yung mga daily, from case-to-case basis na mga quizzes, di ba? Yung mga, that includes, no, the written na mga exams, no? Yung mga during lang, no, sa instruction. So, that is formative assessment. Hindi po yung graded, but recorded siya, but not graded. Oh, dito na sa summative, ito na yung graded, no? Assessment of learning. Okay? Ang diagnostic, placement, and formative assessment for learning. Alright? Okay, number. Ayan. So, ito po muna tandaan natin. Very important talaga ito ha, ang formative and summative. Huwag na huwag tong kalimutan. And sa revised na assessment po ng DepEd, um, meron po mga examples na binigay. So, atin po yung i-discuss, no, soon, very, very soon sa ating final coaching for the Prof. Ed and Gen Ed sa ating group. So, lahat ng yan, no? So, formative, tandaan, students, learn and practice. Throughout the course, identify gaps and improve learning. Pag summative, at the end na po siya. For the collection ng student knowledge, skill or proficiency niya. Cumulative assessment, kumbaga. Okay, number 3. The first process when you analyze scores is A. Finding the mean. B. Grouping. C. Ranking. D. Tallying. What is the first process po when you analyze scores? Ang una mong gagawin, of course, tallying. Before ka makapag-analyze, ilista mo muna yung mga scores. Alamin mo muna, di ba? O before ka makagroup, before ka mag-rank, before mo alamin kung ilan ang average, ilista muna, 'di ba? So, it's the logical answer here. Yan yung una nating gagawin before tayo maka-analyze ng scores. Number 4, in making the step distribution, the first thing to do is making the step distribution. Letter A, decide on the class interval. B, find the range. C, rank the scores. D, group the scores. What is our answer sa number 4? Step distribution. This is letter B. Alamin mo muna kung ano ang range. Paano ba kunin yung range? Hanapin mo ang largest number and yung lowest na number. So, pag step distribution, that is also known the frequency distribution table. Nakagawa na ba tayo ng frequency distribution table? 'Di ba? We have here, or also known as the cumulative frequency distribution table. So, meron tayong range dito, no, na 20, tsaka 80, no? 80 ang largest, 20 ang pinaka maliit. So, gagawa ka ng class interval. Since alam mo na yung range, gagawa ka ng class interval. So, in this case, ang interval at 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 40, or supposedly, 20 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, di ba? Yung ganun dapat yan, no? But, equal, no? Yung kanyang class interval. So, alamin mo muna yung range kasi doon ka magbe-base kung saan, no? Saan magsimula ang class interval mo at saka yung panghuli. Alright, sige. Next, number 5. Evaluation is effective and useful when the result is blank. Letter A, reliable. B, true and valid. C, used to promote programs suited to the learners. D, used to promote or fail a student. Number 5, what is your answer po? I see a lot of letter B's and the correct answer is letter C. Oo, ayan. Wala po ako nakikitang letter C sa comments. Ayan, meron ng isa. Meron isa. Meron ako nakitang isa. If valuation is effective and useful, ito po yung ating focus dito, no? Paano natin masasabing useful? Useful kapag magamit na siya ng mga students. Applicable na siya, no? Used to promote the program suited sa mga estudyante, for the learners. So, sila po ang ating focus. O, bakit tayo pipili ng letter B alone lang? Paano naman to sa letter A? Di ba mahalaga din yung reliable? Di ba mahalaga din siya? So, nilineglect mo na si reliable kapag focus ka lang kay letter B. So, ang center po natin dito, ang students. Suited for the learners. Di ba? For the learners. Marami na ang sumagot ng letter B. Letter C, sorry. No, marami ang sumagot ng letter C. That's correct, no? Reliability and validity, sabi dito, no, are important qualities. But, usefulness depends on how the results are applied. How the results are applied. Okay. Number 6. Standardized tests, when conducted at the national level, require letter A, random implementation. B, reading of instructions. C, specific guidelines. Or D, uniform administration. Ano halimbawa nito? Yung LET. We can say, no, national level na yan. Yung board exam. National level. Malawak, no? Malawak ang implementation. Ano ba ang kailangan? Dapat? Sige nga. Number 6. Ano mga comments ninyo? Ano po ang sagot? This is letter D. Uniform administration. Ganyan naman dapat, no? Dapat sabay. Kaya nga meron tayong standard, no? At exactly specific na time, no? 8 a.m. to 10. That would be the Gen Ed time. Tapos break. Tapos 11 to 2 p.m. Prof Ed. Tapos break. Tapos 3 to 6 na, no? Major na naman siya. So, standard po yan. So, naka-uniform dapat yung administration. Sabay, dapat yung oras, yung mga rules, yung guidelines. And, by the way, may panabago pong memorandum ang PRC, no? Regarding sa pagdala ng mga electronic devices or mga gadgets, no? Sa loob ng examination room. So, dati, bawal naman talaga yan siya, no? Hindi naman talaga pwede. But, ang nangyayari dati, nilalagay sa bag, hindi po, bawal talaga mag-open. So, walang nag-open, no? But ngayon, specific na po siya talaga na hindi na siya dadalhin sa examination room. Parang iiwan siya sa labas or I don't know kung ano po yung patakaran ng proctor ninyo, baka i-collect nila, no? Kasi hindi naman po talaga, I mean, mahirap din, no, if wala kang cellphone, especially pag nasa malayong lugar naman, no, yung examination room, tapos wala kang contact, mag-book ka pa, no, ng kastayhan mo, tapos yung sasakyan, 'di ba? Pwedeng gagamit talaga yung phone, pero hindi siya pwedeng ipasok sa room. Oh, so yun yung panibago na ano, PRC memorandum. So dapat i-follow po talaga 'yun, ha. Follow po talaga kasi wala pong patawad ang PRC. So pag may nakitang mga gadgets, even yung mga smart na watch, no, bawal 'yon. Kung ano-ano pang mga puwedeng magamit, mag-capture ng photo, bawal po talaga 'yan. So, follow po ninyo. Even mga notes, bawal 'yan, ha. Huwag ka na magdala ng mga reviewers, mga notebooks mo diyan, handouts mo, wala. 'Wag mo 'yang dalhin sa school mo or kung sa lugar kung saan ka mag-take yung examination na area. Bawal po talaga kahit sa labas ng room 'yan, bawal po. So, 'wag ka na magdala. Ano pang gagawin mo sa mga ano na 'yan, mga reviewers na 'yan, dun ka pa magre-review sa mismong araw ng exam? Oh, 'wag na 'no, 'wag na. So, hindi na talaga, 'no, hindi na talaga papapasukin. Very strict na sila ngayon. So, wala ng cellphone, wala ng kung ano. So, ano kasi sa time kasi namin dati, nasa malaking gymnasium kami tapos yung mga bags ay nilagay talaga siya sa gilid, sa isang area, dun lahat ng bag. Tapos lahat ng mga cellphone, lahat na nandun. So, wala. Throughout the examination, never kang makahawak ng phone. So, inform nyo na dahil, no, yung mga importante, yun, na mga need nyo na i-chat or i-text, lahat ng yan, no? Or tapos i-silent nyo din yung phone nyo or i-turn off nyo na lang, no? Para walang sagabal talaga. Kasi, kahit sabihin na natin, no, 8 to 10, di ba? That's the time for Gen Ed. Tapos 10 to 11, that's break, no? Break yan. Kahit break yan, bawal ka pa rin maka-use ng any electronic na device. Bawal po talaga. So, wag mo lang subukan. No? Wag mong subukan talaga na mag-open ng phone kahit sabihin na natin na need mo talaga, no? Kasi kailangan na kailangan. Actually, bawal po talaga siya. So, dapat follow po talaga tayo. If meron talagang super na emergency, no, hindi naman, kaya nga emergency, no, ang best na gagawin mo, lumapit ka sa proctor. Siya ang pwedeng, sa kanya ka, no, mag-reach out. So, lapit talaga sa proctor. That's the solution there. So, wag na po talaga magpatigas ng ulo, ha? Teachers, follow that. Kasi, I'm telling you, wala pong patawad. Pag nakita ka, nakahawak ka ng phone or ng smartwatch or any na Bluetooth device or even sa earphones, no? Bawal yan lahat. So, wag na talaga. Okay? So, please follow na lang po, no? Kasi ang hirap na, ang hirap. Tapos ano mo to? um, Pinag-review ka na ng ilang ilang months, no? Pinaghirapan mo na, dami mo ng sacrifices, tapos maglabag ka lang sa kanilang patakaran, wala din, no? Posible hindi ka pa makaka-take na ulit, no? So, babawal na, nakaban na yung pangalan mo. So, wag mo nang gawin. Kapag break time ba, Ma'am Reg, pwede ba maglabas-labas sa room? Hindi din po. Oh, hindi din. Ma'am, paano pag gusto ko mag-CR? O, ang gagawin mo, maglapit ka sa proctor. Kasi, sa time namin, may designated na tao, sasamahan ka sa CR. Like, i-guide ka niya doon, mapunta, no? Baka saan-saan ka pa maglakad-lakad. O, sasamahan ka. Ayan. So, grabe talaga, no? Okay lang ba mag-take ng board exam yung 9 months ang tiyan? Actually, may kilala ako dati na nag-take. Very risky nga, no? Parang ano niyan, very risky. You have to ask your doctor as well, ma'am. But dati may kilala ako, kabuwanan niya na talaga, nag-take siya. Tapos ilang ilang days na lang, no? Manganganak na daw siya. So, pinayagan naman po. But, yun nga, no, at your own risk. Ayan. Kung kaya, kaya. Go. Sige, sige. Let's continue to number 7. The crude mode is the blank. Oh, A, highest score. B, highest score minus the lowest score. C, score with the highest frequency. D, standard deviation. Grabe, no? Ang fighter naman po ni ma'am. Oh, but may mga kasabihan tayo, no? Mga superstitious na mga belief, right? Na yung mga preggy, yung mga buntis ay very, very lucky sa board exam. And then yung kilala ko po, nakapasa po siya. So, very grabe yung celebration. Number 7. This is letter C. The crude mode is the score with the highest frequency. Di ba, pag sinabi naman natin mode, no, that's paulit-ulit, no, paulit-ulit na nare-repeat, paulit-ulit na nire-repeat pa, yung most frequent sa data set. So, the crude mode is the score with the highest frequency. So, if we have here our histogram, siya yung pinakamataas dyan. Letter C. Alright, may nakikita akong sumagot ng letter B. This is not the mode, no? Highest score minus the lowest score. This is the range. Okay, itong letter B, ang range po ito ha. Ang range ito. Number 8. Multiple choice test is considered as the best type of test because blank. A. It is easy to conduct. B. It contains many responses. C. It measures several competencies in one test. D. It possesses the qualities of other types of tests. Bakit sinasabing ang multiple choice ang best type of test? Why? Number 8, I see letter C. May nag-letter A. Sige, A and C, no? Ang nakikita kong sagot. This is letter C. It measures several competencies in one test. O, ano ba? Example, yung let. 'Di ba? Yung let, yung board exam. O, hindi lang let, no? Mga board exam. Multiple choice. Ang dami. 'Di ba nga, ang alam natin, no, sa board exam natin, ang laki, ang lawak ng range. Napakaraming topics, lalo na sa Gen Ed, kung saan-saan lang nakukuha yung tanong. Sobrang lawak ng scope ng ating exam. Sa major, lalo na sa major. 'Di ba? So, many competencies sa isang test lang. Tapos yung test item mo pwede pang lots na question or pwede din siyang hats, 'di ba? So, pwedeng-pwede. Ayan. That is why it is generally considered as the best type of test. So, sa mga sumagot ng letter A, hindi po siya easy to conduct, ha? Hindi po ibig sabihin na easy to conduct ang MCQ. Yung sabihin natin na madali siyang i-check, pwede pa yon. Madali siyang ma-check kasi pag multiple choice, meron ka lang isang sagot, no? So, objective type of exam po siya. Objective. Tandaan natin ha, MCQ, objective type of test. Pag subjective, ang pinaka-example, pag sinabing subjective test, example ay essay, no? Mga essay test. Pag objective, yung may pagpipilian, tapos may isang tamang sagot. Number 9. Which of the following statements is true about the teacher-parent relationship? Kindly read the options and then write down your answer. This is number 9. Letter A. Very good. Parents should be welcome in school and treated with consideration. Maganda ang relasyon ng parents and ng paaralan. Ganyan po talaga dapat. Parents, hindi din nangangaway ha. Huwag mang-away. Hindi nangangaway. Especially pag wala namang, hindi naman makatarungan din, no, yung kanyang pinagsasabi. Kasi ang rason lang ay hindi siya umattend ng meeting, so hindi niya alam. So, as much as possible, gusto naman po natin, no, na iniisip po natin ang welfare ng ating mga estudyante. So, maganda ang relationship ng parent kay teacher, no, sa advisor. Yan, maganda dapat ang relationship. Huwag tayong nang away-away. Okay, number 10, what classroom management technique involves establishing clear rules and routines at the beginning of the school year? A. Assertive discipline. B. Preventive management. C. Reactive management. Or D. Permissive discipline. What is this? Correct. Letter B, preventive discipline. Bakit preventive? No, proactive ka po dito, establishing clear rules and routines sa beginning ng school year. Yan po tandaan natin ha, kailan binibigay yung rules, yung routines, dapat sa umpisa pa lang, sa beginning pa lang. Halangan naman pag end na no, ng school year, doon ka pa magbibigay ng rules mo. Oh, it's a no-no. So, this is preventive. Preventive po na management. Okay. 11. In essentialism, what is the primary focus of the curriculum? Essentialism. Oh, I see a lot of letter E, letter A pala sa number 10. O divided yung taong bayan, no? May A, may B sa number 10. O bakit assertive ang sagot ninyo? Pag sinabi nating assertive, very clear ka, no? Hindi ka rude, hindi ka aggressive. You are tawag natin dyan, confidence, no? May confidence, you're confident rather, you're confident, no? May sense of confidence ka. That is assertive. But, hindi po yan yung ating tinutukoy dyan. So, this is letter B po, teachers ha. Preventive po ito, preventive. Again, because clear ang rules, ang routines, sa simula pa lang ng school year. That is preventive management or yung proactive, no, na style. Ngayon ko lang din nakita, no, ang daming letter A pala kanina sa number 10. 11, divided ang taong bayan. May B and C, B and C, B and C ang nakikita ko. Essentialism po, tandaan, core subjects, longer school days. Ang essentialism ay teacher-centered. Teacher-centered. Sa mga sumagot ng letter C, mali. Hindi naman po. Pag student interest, so student-centered ito. That's progressivism, no? That's more on progressivism. If we're talking about essentialism, teacher-centered po ito, very traditional. We are talking about the subjects, no? Yung essential skills, the 3 R's, longer school days. Yan yung focus. Pag essentialism, very traditional, subject-centered, teacher-centered as well. Okay? So, sa mga sumagot ng letter C, bakit po mali? Again, pag essentialism, teacher-centered. Ang sagot nyo na letter C, marami po talaga pumili ng letter C. Ang sagot nyo na letter C, student interest, this is progressivism, this is student-centered. Alright, next, number 12. Which assessment principle is violated when a test item is too ambiguous or unclear? Which assessment principle is violated when a test item is too ambiguous or unclear? Ano po sagot niyo sa number 12? Letter C, validity. Ano ba ang validity? Accuracy. Accuracy, accurate ba? O hindi natin malalaman na accurate kasi unclear, kasi ambiguous, hindi klaro. this is violated. Dapat klaro yan siya, no? Dapat clear, dapat accurate. Yan yung validity. No, accuracy. Accuracy yan. So, validity is accuracy. Next, when a teacher immediately addresses a minor classroom disruption by going near the student and making eye contact, what technique is being used? Ano tawag natin dito? Si teacher pumunta, no? Lumapit sa student na maingay. May estudyante dyan na nag-iingay. Ang ginawa ni teacher, lumapit siya doon sa student. Making eye contact sa student. Anong tawag natin sa technique niyan? May kinalaman sa distance, that is proximity control. Pag may kinalaman po sa distance, no, distansya, proximity control. Okay, very good naman po, no? Letter A ang sagot niyo lahat. Number 14. Which philosophy views the teacher as a transmitter of timeless truths and model of moral values? I'm hoping na na-perfect na itong philosophies, no? So, if meron pa pong hindi familiar with the philosophies of education, I think nasa episode 1 ng Prof. Ed, hanapin niyo po, or episode 2, or somewhere there, yung ating mga philosophies. Madali lang siya, no? May mga clues tayo, mga keywords na dapat tandaan. 14. This is perennialism. Timeless. Forever. Unchanging. Everlasting. Universal. Perennialism. Moral values. No? Perennialism. Universal kasi ito. Timeless truths. Everlasting. From the classics. No? From great books. Perennialism po iyan. Number 15. Private school teachers are also required of a professional license. Is this statement true? Private school teachers are also required of a professional license. True po ba ito? Very good na sa number 15. Very good. Yan, true. True na ang isagot talaga ha. Walang sasagot ng it depends. Hindi ka po pipili ng maybe. Sa Prof. Ed, ang sasagot mo lang yes or no. Di ba? So, hindi po it depends ha. Hindi po maybe. True po ha. Kahit sabihin mo may kilala ka sa reality na nagturo na sa private school tapos wala pa namang lisensya. So, nangyayari yan in reality. But, in the board exam, ideal po tayo. Ano yung nasa batas natin? No license, no teaching policy, no? So, this is, yes, it is true. Alright. Is an alien qualified to take the licensure examination for teachers? Pagtandaan po natin yung alien, this one refers to the foreigners, no? Yung mga hindi Pinoy. Qualified ba sila mag-take ng LET? Ang hanapin nyo po yung word na reciprocity. Yes, pwede, no? As long as yung bansa po nila may reciprocity with the Philippines in the practice of the teaching profession. Ibig sabihin, tayong mga Filipino teachers, pwede tayong magturo sa bansa nila. Kapag pwede kang magturo sa bansa nila, ibig sabihin, yung foreigner na yon, yung alien na yon, ay pwede din siyang mag-teach dito sa atin, no? Pwede din siyang mag-take ng board exam. Alright, next. Difficulty to read basic sight words. If we are talking about the reading disability, that is dyslexia. Basic sight words, no? Read basic sight words, nahihirapan. Dyslexia. Ano yung dysgraphia? This is for writing, no? Writing disability. Ang dyscalculia naman, pag problema sa numeracy, sa mathematics, no? Ang ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So, mga simptomas, no? Mga tandaan, yung impulsive, Very short yung attention span. Parang ano din sila, no? Wala din silang masyadong sense of danger. Very impulsive ang behavior. So that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Very short ang attention span. Number 18. Which of the following qualities is most becoming of a professional teacher? A. Love of the profession. B. Frugality and saving. C. Regularity and discipline. D. Humility in work. Number 18. Puwede po ba magsuot ng watch, yung may orasan lang? Ang nakalagay po sa memorandum ng PRC, yung bawal, yung mga smart na watches, no? Yung mga smartwatch ang bawal. So, yung mga analog, you ask your proctor, no? Before entering the room. You may ask your proctor. Pero if pinagbabawal, may iba kasi talaga na sa ibang lugar, no? Based sa feedback nila, bawal talaga kahit analog pa yan. Ang gagawin mo na lang, mag-ask ka na lang sa proctor sa oras. Oh, yan. Pag pinagbabawal talaga, pina-remove yun, lahat ng mga nakalagay diyan. Even earrings, no? Merong ibang lugar na bawal talaga, no? Sa ibang, based sa feedback, no? Ng mga nag-take. So, very strict na talaga sila. Pag pinagbabawal talaga, no? Yung relo, ang gagawin mo, mag-ask ka sa proctor. Yan talaga. Anong oras na po? Ilang remaining time na lang. Ganun. Kasi ako din, no, ako ay very particular sa oras. So, talagang magtatanong, oh, magtatanong talaga ako kung ilang time na lang ang remaining. Ngayon, yan din po ang gagawin niyo. Wag kang mahiyang magtanong. Ayan. Wag mahiyang magtanong kung may right mid ba nito. Wag mahiyang magtanong, ha? Mag-ask ka pag may na-confuse ka pag sa Scantrol kung asan yung pag-fill up mo, kung anong kailangan, ask talaga sa proctor. Huwag kang mag-base lang sa instinct mo. I think ito yung isi-shade ko. I think ganito dapat. I think ito yung dapat isulat. No, no, no. Ask. Pag confused ka, tanong. Magtanong talaga, magtanong. Yan sila po, naka-seminar naman po yan sila, no? Yung mga proctors natin. And pray also na mabait yung proctor mo. Kasi based din sa mga feedback, may mga na-encounter talaga na masusungit yung proctor. Talagang super masungit, no? So, mag-pray din po tayo na sana mabait ang proctor namin. Yung ganon, ha? And then ask. Don't forget to ask. And then be kind lang din. Pag nagtatanong ka, ayusin mo din pag mag-ask, no? Hindi yung nagtanong ka tapos galit ka. Ikaw pa yung nagtanong, no? Ikaw pa yung galit na galit dyan. So, be kind lang din, no? Be courteous sa pag-approach. So, ganon, ha? Sige, magtanong po talaga kayo sa proctor pag may... Pero hindi po yung magtanong ka anong sagot, ha? Hindi ganon. Hindi yon. Yung tanong mo is related sa pagsulat, kung ano isulat doon, no? Pag fill na ng information. Oo. I remember dati pina-check ko talaga pagkatapos kong mag-shade, no, lahat-lahat na kung yung mga kailangan na sagutan. Pina-check ko sa proctor. I ask na, pwede po bang i-check kung okay na ba, may kulang pa ba, may hindi ba ako na-shadean, may need ba na kailangan lagyan na information, i-check talaga, no? Like, hindi ako nahiya, na kapal na mukha, na pina-check ko talaga, no? Parang, para, syempre, no, last take mo na yan sa board exam. So, go na, ask. Huwag kang mahiya magtanong. Okay, very good. Sige, continue tayo. Number 18 is letter A, love of profession. That is correct. Most becoming love. Lahat ng things, no, itong humility, yung disiplina mo sa trabaho, that will follow kung love mo ang trabaho mo. Next. What characterizes show that character oh, show that a teacher has empathy towards learners or students? Empathy. Very good. This is caring and love. Caring and love, no? Empathy. That's caring and love. Correct. What adjectives or adjective or adjectives describe or describes an ideal teacher's relationship with other government officials? Number 20. What is your answer? Okay, may nakita akong A, may nakita akong C. Alright, the correct answer is, alright, tingnan natin, harmonious. Maganda ba to? Positive ba? Yes, positive. Ibig sabihin, sagot ito si number 1. Right? Oh. So, ang may number 1 dito, ang A and B lang naman. So, ikis mo na yan sila. Oh, ikis na yan siya. Ma'am, hindi ko alam ano yung subservient. Oh, skip mo muna, no? Ano, technique ito, no? Pag hindi mo alam yung ibig sabihin ng word. Personal. Maganda ba ang personal? Oh, anyway, hindi na naman to sagot si subservient kasi wala namang to dito, no, sa A and B. O, alam natin si 1, kasali talaga yan siya, no? Harmonious. Positive yan. So, 4 or 3? Personal or professional? Ano ba dapat ang relationship? Teacher's relationship with government officials. Dapat professional. Professional. Sa mga sumagot ng letter B, nako, hindi pwedeng personal. No? Walang personalan, trabaho lamang. Yan dapat. Professional ang relationship nyo, hindi personal. Baka, for example, magkaaway pala si principal tsaka yung barangay na captain. Oh. Eh, hindi maganda yung relationship nila. Oh, set aside mo na nila yung kanilang pag-aaway, no? Dapat professional lang for the betterment ng school or ng buong komunidad. So, professional and harmonious. So, pag subservient, ano to? Prepared to obey others unquestioningly. Hindi to maganda. 'Di ba? Hindi po maganda. Parang ano ka na lang, sunod-sunuran ka na lang tapos hindi mo naman kine-question, no? Ano yung inuutos. Okay. 21. Is it professional to support a school's policy even if you do not personally agree? Ito, magandang tanong. May pagkakataon na po ba na hindi nare-receive via email coach yung specific room or school to take the examination po? Since 3 days before the given date po ang binibigay nila. Sino po kung sakali ang i-reach out kapag ganun? Sa experience po namin, wala naman po kaming na-receive na email. Wala po talaga, wala. Even mga kabatch ko noon na nag-take, wala po kaming na-receive na email regarding sa room assignment and sa school kung saan ka mag-take. Nag-wait po kami sa posting ng PRC. Magpo-post po sila regarding sa room assignment and sa school kung asan ka mag-take sa examination na school. Ipopost po nila yan. So, sa time namin, talagang, ewan ko sa bago ka ngayon, baka meron ng email, no? But kami, hindi kami nakareceive ng email talaga. Nag-wait lang kami sa posting. May posting po yan. Nag-post po yan before, yeah, tama, no? Mga 3 days before. Or even, pinaka, 5 days, ganyan. Mag-post yan sila before the day ng exam. Follow niyo po yung page ng PRC. Nagpo-post po yan. 21. Okay, may B. May A. The correct answer is letter B. Letter B, professional. Yes. No, professional yan. That's being professional. Kasi iba ang being yung personal no unprofessional na self mo. So, hindi talaga yan pwedeng magkasama lagi. So, yung mga problema ni ma'am, ni sir sa bahay, personal yon no? Personal yon. Pagdating sa school, iset aside niya yun. Hindi niya pwedeng dalhin sa paaralan yung kanyang mga hinanakit, 'di ba? So, para na tayong mga robots, no? Pero that's being professional din. The same thing with the policy ng school. It's professional thing to do, to follow, no? Okay. A teacher uses rewards such as praise, stickers, or additional time for games. What motivation is this? Intrinsic, extrinsic, internal, or self-efficacy? O na-mute pala ako. I see a lot of letter B's, no? So, extrinsic kapag mga papuri, stickers, o laro. Gusto nilang laro. Extrinsic or external na motivation. External. Ito po tandaan natin, pag grado, pag additional points, pag mga may reward na pera, o ganyan, external po yan. No? Money, points, grade, external yan sila. Pag extrinsic, no, external na mga factors, no, extrinsic motivation. Pag intrinsic, ito personal mo na talaga to nakagustuhan. Nag-aaral ka kasi gusto mong matuto. Nagbasa ka diyan kasi gusto mong matuto. Personal na kagustuhan mo 'yan, curious ka, 'di ba? Pero pag nag-aaral ka diyan for the sake of grades, for the sake of ikaw yung pinakamalaki ang score no sa klase. Ganyan. So, extrinsic yan na motivation. Pero pag really, personal mo na motivation, galing sa sarili mo dahil gusto mo lang, no? Interest mo yan siya. Curious ka. Intrinsic yan na motivation. Okay. Which of the following can be identified as inherent in nature or the influence or biological forces in a child? Three. Okay, this is letter B, correct? The color of the skin. Biological influence. Nature. Familiar ba tayo sa nature versus nurture? No? Nature versus nurture. Pag nature, that is inherent, no? Biological, inherited yan. Nakukuha mo yung traits na yan, yung genes, no, from your parents, nature. Pag nurture, that's galing sa environment, no, environmental factors. Ang color of the skin, oh, most likely, of course, nature mo na yan. Oh, unless nga maano ka dyan, magpaputi ka, no? So, color of the skin is nature, biological. Obedience to rules, natutunan mo to, no? Nurture ito. Parental respect, natutunan din yan. Acquired yan na trait, nurture. Loyalty sa school, natutunan mo na yan. Pag nature, ipinanganak kang, yan na ang trait mo. That's natural, kumbaga, no? Nature. Ang nurture, natutunan mo na acquired mo siya na trait. Alright. Which type of education is characterized by structured and chronologically graded learning, often requiring certification for progression? Very good. This is formal. Bakit naging formal ang sagot? We have here certificates. We have diplomas. May papel na magpapatunay na ikaw ay tapos na sa elementary, sa high school, sa college, tapos structured pa, chronological. Ano ba yung chronological, no? Magkasunod-sunod. Example, mauna ka sa elementary bago ka mag-high school. That's the order. Hindi naman pwedeng high school ka tapos balik ka elementary, 'di ba? Hindi pwede 'yon. Formal education, chronological order. So, ano ba ang types of education? Tandaan po natin to. We have formal, non-formal, and informal. Ang formal, yung sa paaralan natin. Schools, universities, we have degree program, organized, structured, may paaralan, may curriculum na followed, may lesson plan. Pag non-formal, flexible, skill-based, no? Not necessarily sa school, no? Nasa like mga vocational training, gaya ng sa TESDA. Community education, workshops, mga courses na natutunan natin, non-formal education po iyan. Pag informal, ito yung mga natutunan po natin from everyday learning experiences. Hindi mo natutunan sa not necessarily sa school or sa non-formal ba na setup, but yung mga pangyayari sa buhay, no, na natutunan. For example, yung bata, yung papa niya ay mangingisda. So, tinuruan siya ng papa niya kung paano mangisda. That is informal education. Hindi niya naman yun natutunan sa school. Natutunan niya sa everyday na learning experiences niya. Natutunan niya from family, from life experiences. Alam niya kung paano i-fix ang aircon, ang refrigerator, ang TV. Kasi lagi siyang sumasama sa uncle niya na taga-fix ng aircon, taga-fix ng TV, ng refrigerator. So, natutunan niya din na mag-fix, no? Alam niya din kung paano ayusin kasi lagi siyang sumasama. So, that's part of informal education. 'Di ba? So, meron naman tayong mga kilala na hindi naman po nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral pero ang galing mag-fix ng aircon. 'Di ba? May mga ganon. So, napaka-amazing, no? Alam nila kung paano ayusin yung mga sira na ref. So, that's part of informal education. Hindi po natutunan sa paaralan lang. Okay. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos ha. Eto lang, no, don't forget to show your love and support to our channel sa YouTube by commenting a LPT soon with high board rating, manifesting, no? Or any comments, kindly leave a comment. That way also, yung engagement natin, marami ang ma-reach na tao for those na makapag-review po sila dito sa channel. And that's your way also, no, of supporting me sa pag-continue ko din dito sa pag-lecture sa channel. So don't forget na to leave a comment. That's your way also of showing your love and support. And thank you. Sige, 25. Which ancient civilization contributed practical and empirical education? Which ancient civilization? Egyptian ba, Roman, Greek, or Chinese? Twenty-five, letter A. Sa Egyptian po yan, teachers. Egyptian. Practical and empirical na education. Yung pag sinabing practical, ang skills na tinuturo ay for survival. No? Mga survival skills. Survival. Ayan. Survival skills. Empirical education. Practical and empirical. Yun yung sa Egyptian. If we're talking about Roman education, moral, civic, military. Yan din sa kanila, no? Religious training. If we're talking about Greek, liberal and democratic education naman po. Kapag sa Chinese, that's career-oriented education. 26. Who among the sophists is famous for saying, man is the measure of all things? Man is the measure of all things. Yan po ay sabi ni Protagoras. Sabi ni Protagoras, man is the measure of all things. Kanino naman po yung art of questioning? Kay Socrates, no? The Socratic method. An unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates pa rin po ang nagsabi niyan. Sino naman po ang founder ng Lyceum? Yung bihira ka lang magsagot, nagkamali pa. Sige lang po, teacher. Okay lang yan. Sino yun? Ano yung tanong ko? Lyceum. No. Aristotle po, pag Lyceum, ha? Si Plato naman ang Academy. Si Plato ang founder ng Academy. The book na The Republic, kay Plato din po iyan. Ang The Republic. If one person feels cold and another feels warm in the same room, both are correct. Because their experiences are true for them. Man is a measure of all things. That's Protagoras. Yan na. Ito si Socrates, developed the Socratic method, believed in the pursuit of truth and self-knowledge. Si Protagoras naman said, man is the measure of all things. Plato founded the Academy in Athens, developed the theory of forms. Idealist po itong si Plato, no? Idealist. Si Aristotle, realist si Aristotle, developed the concept of the golden mean. Golden mean, founded the Lyceum as the center of learning. Mga Greek, yeah. Mga ancient philosophers. Okay. Students use a rubric to examine their essays, identify weakness, set revision goals, and monitor their improvement. Which assessment orientation is strongest? What is this? 27. This is... I see letter A, may nag-letter C, may nag-letter B. Sige, isama nyo na si D. Nahiya pa kayo kay D. This is letter A, assessment as ayan, are we back na po ba? Kakasalita ko dito, nawala na pala bigla. O, ayan. Sige, sige, sige. Nakikita ko na yung mga ano nyo. O natawa ako, baka nag-brown out. O nasanay na talaga, no? Kasi lagi kami nabubunot dito sa rotational brown out. The host will be right back, don't worry. Sabi ni teacher. Before tayo mag-proceed, okay na po ba? I need your feedback para mag-continue tayo. Nawala bigla yung internet connection. Sige, hintayin ko po muna ha. Baka parang robot tayo dyan sa end nyo. Bakit kayo lagi nagsasabi kamukha ko si Sarah J? Nakakahiya naman po kay Sarah. Sige, comment nyo po if okay na para mag-continue na po tayo. Sige, okay na daw, sabi ni teacher. Sige, ilang items na lang po. Sige, bilis-bilisan natin yung pacing natin. Bakit assessment as learning? Kasi to monitor their improvement, di ba? Their improvement, sila mismo, assessment as learning, as learning. Bakit may sumagot ng B, may sumagot ng C? Walang sumagot ng D, no? Letter A po ang correct. Sabi dito, monitor their improvement, no? Sila mismo sa sarili nila. There. Pag self-assessment, that is assessment as learning. Okay. Who advanced the idea that man is a social animal and must use his reason to attain the summum bonum? Summum bonum, tandaan po natin, or the highest good, kanino to? Kay Aristotle. Aristotle's theory, the state is ordered to happiness, the summum bonum, or the supreme good of human life. And according to Aristotle also, ang importante daw sa tao ay happiness. Happiness. Happy siya. Happy. A test consistently produces similar scores across repeated administrations but fails to measure the competency specified in the curriculum. The test is, ano po ang test? 29. Sa mga bago pa lamang po, tandaan nyo po yung bagong memorandum ng PRC ha. Huwag po magdala ng mga electronic gadgets sa araw ng examination. Siyempre, no, kailangan natin ang phone natin for mag-book tayo ng sasakyan or ng room kung maasan ka mag-stay, contact your loved ones pagtapos ng exam. Siyempre, no, ilagay mo lang yan sa labas. Or may tao ka na doon mo i i-give mo muna doon sa tao na yon. Pero pag doon talaga sa school or sa examination room, bawal na bawal. 29, very good. Reliable but invalid. Consistency, consistent, that is reliability, no? Tapos, it fails to measure the competency specified. Ibig sabihin, invalid na. Pag invalid, hindi na accurate, di ba? 30, what was the educational purpose of monasticism during the medieval period? Pag na-confuse regarding sa sasagutan sa Scantron or sa i-fill in na data, na information, sa form, no? Yung form na need mong i-fill out ay, ano po, magtanong sa proctor. Pag na-confuse, ha? Magtanong talaga sa proctor. Very good. This is religious discipline. Religious, no? Letter B, religious. Monasticism man. During the medieval period, pag sinabing medieval, no, that's the dark age, involved monks and nuns living in communities dedicated to prayer, study, and manual labor, following specific rules like Benedictine rule. Monasteries served as centers of worship, education, and even healthcare, playing a vital role in preserving knowledge and providing for the less fortunate. 31. Who was the foremost proponent of the scholastic movement? Letter, letter D, no? Saint Thomas Aquinas. Saint Thomas Aquinas po, scholastic movement. Next, ano ba yung scholasticism? The study of theology and philosophy taught in medieval European universities based on Aristotelian logic and writings of the early church fathers and having a strong emphasis on tradition and dogma. Oh, halimbawa, correct, no? Yung Christianity. That's for example. What is the focus of differentiated instruction? Tandaan lang po natin, pag nakita natin tong differentiated instruction, ano ba ibig sabihin? Iba-iba, no? Iba-ibang klase ng instruction, ng activities, may variety. Bakit kailangan may variety? Dahil iba-iba ang ating mga estudyante. So, i-modify natin ang instruction based sa learner's needs. May variety of learners po tayo. Okay. A teacher constantly gossips. Oh, yan. Chismes, marites. Spreads false accusations against colleagues. Nako, nako. What ethical principle is violated? Constantly nag-gossip, nagchichismis lagi. Nag-spread ng false accusation, which is very wrong. No? Very wrong. That is, ano ang violated? That's, of course, ang professional conduct. Oh, mag-spread ka ng mga maling akusasyon, yan, very, very not professional na behavior. So, violated is the professional conduct. Which of the following learning theories in Thorndike states that an organism learns by doing and forget by not doing? In other words, it refers to the law of use and law of disuse. Thirty-three, this is the law of the organism, no, learns by doing and then nakakalimutan po by not doing. That's the law of exercise. Paulit-ulit mong ginagawa, mapapractice ka lagi, no? Mamamaster ka na sa bagay na yan, sa skill na yan. Pero pag hindi mo na ginagawa, malilimutan mo na. Makalimot ka na, di ba? Ang law of effect, this has something to do with the consequence. Pag maganda ang epekto, maganda ang consequence, no? Maganda ang resulta, most likely mauulit ang behavior. Pag hindi naman po maganda, most likely magde-decrease ang behavior, no? Most likely hindi na siya mauulit. Ang readiness naman, pangalan pa lang na readiness, no? Dapat ready, prepared. Ang learner mentally, dapat holistically, no? Prepared siya. Exercise, no? That's for mastery. Use and disuse. All right, last item. Which act provided for the establishment of an integrated system of education in the Philippines and governs both formal and non-formal systems? What act is this? This is the Education Act of 1982 or also known as, hindi nga, anong tawag natin sa Education Act na ito? Marami pala ang pumili kay letter D, Governance of Basic Education Act. This is the DepEd law. Pag sinabing integrated system of education, integrated, that's the Education Act of 1982. And that is the Batas Pambansa bilang 232 or an act providing for the establishment and maintenance of an integrated system of education. Batas Pambansa bilang 232. Alright, that's it. So do not forget to leave a comment sa ating YouTube channel po, teachers ha. Ayan. So, thank you for joining me this session sa ating episode. Anong episode na ba to? Episode 14. Episode 14 sa Prof. Ed. Ayan. So, bye-bye everyone and thank you for joining me. See you soon sa next natin na session. Bye-bye. Don't worry, sa hindi po start, ipopost naman po ito sa YouTube channel. Okay? So, bye-bye.